job satisfaction, okay? And the way we do that is, I suppose, we generate a regression model. And to do that within SPSS, okay, we go to the Analyze option, okay? We come down to Regression, and what we're going to choose is a linear model. And there's lots of other types of models that we can run, but for this video we're concentrating on a simple linear regression model. So I'm going to hit Linear here. Okay, and let me just reset this, okay? And what I need to define in here is I need to define my dependent variable and my independent variables. So I can put more than one independent variable, as you can see here. I can define blocks. Block 1 is typically what we control for, block 2 and block 3 and block 4 and so on. But in a later video when we have more than one independent variable, I'll show you how to control for other variables in the model, yeah? But for our purposes here, my dependent variable is intention to stay. And my independent variable is satisfaction, job satisfaction, okay? It's going in here. There's lots of options here. We can ask for some statistics, okay? So we can go into statistics. The regression coefficient estimates we really need because we want to build this regression line or this regression equation. So that's important for us. Model fit is how well overall the model is with respect to predicting intention to stay. Maybe I'll ask for some descriptives here. I'm not looking for any correlations. I'm not looking for collinearity diagnostics or anything like that. It's not a multiple regression model, so I don't have many independent variables. I don't have more than one independent variable, so I don't need to test for multi-collinearity between the independent variables. So I'm not going to ask for that, and I'm not going to test the other, I suppose, let's say, precondition associated with regression. There's a few of them, which is in relation to the residuals and that the residual errors are normally distributed, which we could test through the Durbin-Watson statistic. But we're not going to look at that here. We're just going to ask for model fit and descriptive statistics and estimates. They're very important for us. I'm just going to hit continue. We could generate different types of plots, but we're not going to look at this at this stage, in relation to the relationships between variables and the standardization of the variables and so on. But that's really it for us. Actually, the main thing we really wanted to do was get the dependent variable listed and the independent variable listed here, okay? And that's it. The model we're using is an enter model, so everything is going to be thrown in the first run, okay? There is other models that we can actually specify. We're not interested in that at this stage, yeah? So I'm just going to hit OK. There's a fair bit of output here, so let's not panic. But let's go through it table by table. That's the most rational way that we can actually approach this. Yeah. If you just look at it as a whole, it's very intimidating. Yeah. But actually, everything hopefully will be straightforward enough to understand. Let me just put this across here, just so that we can actually see this a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so I'm just looking at the descriptive statistics, and it just gives us some descriptives in relation to the distributions that are associated with each of our variables. So the intention to stay variable, its distribution is centered on 3.54. Okay? The average score with respect to intention to leave is 3.54, and its associated standard deviation is 0.91. With respect to job satisfaction, the average score is 0.3475, quite similar there, okay? And the standard deviation is very similar to the others as well. Yeah, there were 69 observations that have been fed into this particular analysis. Looking at the correlations, I don't know, did I click correlations? Oh no, well, I clicked descriptive statistics, yeah. So it's actually throwing out the correlations from the descriptive statistics section, and you can actually see that when we look at the Pearson correlation, the correlation between job satisfaction, intention to leave, yeah, okay, and job satisfaction is 0.869, yeah, which is evidence to suggest that there's a strong association between those two variables, and it's also significant. Okay, so there's no evidence. Well, there is evidence to suggest, that's what that's saying, there is evidence to suggest that the correlation between them is not zero, okay? So there is actually a correlation, and it's 0.869, which is when we interpret it based off cone scales, yeah, could be interpreted from a more qualitative perspective, that there is a strong association between job satisfaction and intention to leave. Okay, the next box is just the type of model that was run. Let's ignore that. Okay, the next box, which is model summary, which is sort of giving us what we've already got earlier on, which is the R value. That's the Pearson correlation coefficient, 0.869, which you can see is the same as what we got up here. Okay, which is telling us that there is a strong association between them. But actually, what's probably a nicer statistic to look at is R squared, yeah, okay, which is 0.75. The R squared value, the coefficient of determination, as it's also called, when we multiply it by 100, we get a percentage. So 0.75 multiplied by 100 is 75%. So about 75.6%. So what that's saying here to us is this: is that when we look at the dependent variable, okay, you can see actually when you're looking in this direction here, the dependent variable, there's natural fluctuation in the